Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and its community here on COD Zombies HQ. Thank you so much for tuning in today, where for the first time, Treyarch has made massive changes to some core features of Black Ops 6 Zombies, and the community is not happy with them at all. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's kick things off with our first story of the day. Along with the very first event weekend here in Black Ops 6 Zombies, where Treyarch has enabled double XP, double weapon XP, and double the GobbleGum drop rate, they've also released a new patch into the game. Starting with the changes made to the two Zombies maps in the game right now, over on Terminus, Treyarch says that they've closed an exploit that allowed players to block zombie pathing with a tactical raft. Well, they've gone ahead and done it. In lieu of there being no more rebuildable barriers in this game, players said, you know what, let me just make my own, using boats to block the pathing of zombies on that map. I've gotta say, it was one of the most ingenious and unique strategies we've ever seen in the zombies mode, but clearly Treyarch was not very happy with players abusing the boat spawns in that way, and decided to do something about it. Now, to be fair, I have heard a lot of Zombies players say that public matches of Terminus pretty much all end up with a bunch of players doing the boat barricade glitch, which made it so that if you go down during a public match, there's even less of a chance that a rando will come and revive you. Now, we will need to check if the boat rocket ship glitch is still functional after this patch. I'm really hoping it is, because that one was crazy fun as well. But let's move on to the changes over on Liberty Falls, where Treyarch says they've resolved an issue that prevented score streaks from being used after completing the main quest. Or when you beat the main Easter egg over on Liberty Falls and decided to continue the match after the cutscene, for whatever reason score streaks would be entirely disabled for the player, making it really hard to exfil. Most players tend to resort to those score streaks like a chopper gunner or mangler injection when the exfil triggers, especially to take down the boss zombies that spawn. And well, now if you do complete the main Easter egg and want to get the bonus XP from exfilling, you can do that without worry after this update. Also on Liberty Falls, Treyarch says they've resolved an issue that would leave the player in the spectator mode when dying after completing the main quest. Similar to the first one, this glitch had another feature of the game disabled when you beat the main quest and went down, and that feature is ending the game itself, where instead of your zombies game ending after you went down after completing the main Easter egg, you'd go into the spectator and just have to sit there and stare at your downed body. Just brutal, so a good fix there. But the change that has the zombies community in an uproar right now is this one, where a change was made to the boss zombies on the map. That's your manglers, abominations, and amalgams, and it's not reducing the amount of boss zombies that spawn, but instead Treyarch says that now specials and elites killed by score streaks will no longer drop items. This change fundamentally alters the way players are able to get to high rounds. Before this patch, it was by consistently using the mangler injection pretty much over and over again, collecting the salvage from the absurd number of boss zombies that spawn in the higher round to refill the ability to craft another mangler injection after it was over, pretty much granting you an infinite amount of them. Well, Treyarch definitely took note of that strategy, and either it wasn't what they intended when envisioning how players would use score streaks in this game, or probably more likely, this strategy might have been seen by Treyarch as being like too simple, or in their minds too quote-unquote easy than what they intended, which I don't really think is right in this case. Therefore, rewarding players with more round XP, higher chances to get higher rarity GobbleGums for a lot less effort, and in a mode with unified XP being connected to multiplayer as well, they probably got some pressure to change it and make it harder for the community to advance through higher rounds. Now, to be fair, before this update, I did see a bunch of people that went for high rounds talking about how boring it was, how seemingly simple and repetitive the strategies were compared to other high round strategies from prior games. So those people might be happy with this change, and it probably does make this system a little bit more balanced, but does it make it more fun? And the answer to that is probably no. Ever since this game launched, the number one thing I've heard from pretty much everyone in the zombies community was the amount of boss zombies, manglers that spawn after you reach round 25. 25, and especially after you reach round 35, where the number of them just becomes ridiculous. They're just bullet sponges, and the fun you get from taking them down in earlier rounds just melts away, and it becomes a little bit all too much. Now, so far, Treyarch has demonstrated their willingness to listen to the zombies community within Black Ops 6, and you can be sure that they're hearing the outrage around this change right now. So we'll be sure to keep a very close eye to see if they make any adjustments to this system in the near future. It seems to me that there are three clear options for what Treyarch could do from here. They could totally just revert the change, say, hey guys, we messed up. We think this went a little bit too far, and we hear a lot of the community outrage around this change, so it will go back to the way it was pre-patch. They could also say, we understand the outrage around this change, but so we're going to modify the system so that when boss zombies are taken down using score streaks, maybe they'll provide less salvage or less loot, or loot only a certain percentage amount of time compared to pretty much all the time from pre-patch, as a way to try to balance it a little bit while keeping it fun. Or of course, the third option, they've made a decision, they'll stick to their guns, and this will be the new standard for Black Ops 6 zombies going forward. A big decision from Treyarch to have to make, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they decide to do here. But that is not all they've changed. On the gameplay side, Treyarch says they've closed an exploit that allowed players to reactivate timed GobbleGums. This method essentially granted you the ability to get an unlimited status effect of whatever GobbleGum you wanted. Players were using this especially with the Free Fire GobbleGum, letting you have infinite ammo for an infinite amount of time. So it seems like it was only a matter of time before they closed that exploit. But knowing the zombies community, another one will surely rise to take its place shortly. But one change I definitely didn't expect from Treyarch here was this one. They've adjusted the round UI limit to round 999 from 256. Before this patch, round 256 was the highest the round number would display, and after that point, you had to track your own progress if you progressed any further for those extremely high round players. Well, now to get to that high of a round is going to be a lot more difficult, but it is one less thing they'll have to do when they get there. Lastly, Treyarch says that they've resolved an issue with stability when changing field upgrades, and they've added various server-side stability fixes. A lot of players, especially after the most recent small patch that Treyarch released, were talking about all of the disconnection issues they were having in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Hopefully this helps improve stability across the board for all zombies players, so that when you do hop into play during the double XP, double weapon XP, double GobbleGum rate weekend, you won't be randomly disconnecting from many games. But oh boy, what a day for the zombies community, Treyarch, and Black Ops 6 as a whole. I'd love to know some of your thoughts on it down in the comments, because that wraps up today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider leaving a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because the response from Treyarch is coming one way or another, and I can't wait to talk about it when the Zombies news update returns tomorrow. Peace!